Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. First off, let me apologise for my computer making noise. It's processing something and yep, can't stop it. Joker stuff is getting really crazy with the Joker. Apparently now there are official warnings. Um, the Texas law enforcement has sent messages out to service members, or the army has sent messages out to service members, basically warning them of possible attacks in Joker screenings. So it's getting crazy. Apparently, there has been some chatter on the dark web about some people saying some plan or some idea to attack a non-specific cinema. So apparently there are always crazy people, so there's always talk. So but the fact it's gotten to the point now that they feel they have to warn people and prepare people, like there's going to be some sort of giant mass rebellion of incels and crazy white men that's just going to suddenly rise up and start attacking everyone once they see this film. It's a bit crazy. Now recently Joaquin Phoenix was asked about this sort of circumstance in an interview The Telegraph when Robbie Collin, and he wasn't prepared for it and he got up and left. And the filmmaker has defended it, and he has done something which is a bit of pushback. He isn't allowing any press screenings, no early press screenings, which is a way to sort of fight back, I guess, or just push back against the media, because the media absolutely has decided to run with this, and I don't think they're doing it to benefit anyone. They're doing it because it sells, because the possibility that this film could unpack the Joker and explain him and help people to understand people like him and that situation, and actually sort of alert people to the warning signs, and to show how the pieces fall apart with people like that, could actually be a good thing, because it will help people to see people in their lives who maybe are struggling and going towards that sort of mentality, or a mental break, or and also it may help people who are going through that themselves see that in themselves and realize, oh, I don't want to go there. So there could be a great potential in this film to actually help, but the media isn't focusing on that. They're just focusing on, oh, it's going to inspire copycats. It's going to inspire copycats of the Aurora thing. Now, the families have spoken up about that, the families of the people who were killed in Aurora, and as much as we sympathise with them, they're not experts. They're not informed. The man who did the killing, and I suddenly forget it. Oh, James Holmes. Thank God I have notes. He was seen as a Joker character, that he was copying the Joker. Now, The Dark Knight Rises was the Batman film that was screening that he shot. He killed 12 people and injured 70. Now, some policemen who arrested him got it in his head that he was trying to be the Joker, because they associated Batman with Joker, even though Joker isn't in that film. And he had red hair. Now, we all know that the Joker has green hair. And he didn't say he was the Joker. There's no proof he said he was the Joker. This is just an idea someone got in their head, and the media ran with it, because that's what the media does. So this guy wasn't even a Joker copycat. As far as anyone knows, from all the research and psychological assessments this guy's had, and his statements, he's never said he was the Joker, he was trying to be the Joker, it was anything to do with the Joker. So there really isn't even a crime to copy for a copycat. But I think their own press, they've got so much attention on this, someone now is going to want to be that person. I'm sure now someone is going to want to be the guy who shot people up at the Joker film. So I think they've created their own situation now, and now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and they're going to turn around and go say, look, we said this was going to happen, and they're going to get all their media stories and their 24-hour coverage and everything. And I think it's pretty much I mean, I've watched a few videos. That's mostly how I get my information these days, and I think a lot of people do. I've read a couple of articles, and it. I'm agreeing with some other people. Like my main sort of inspiration to do a video today was watching Matt Javo's video from Pushback Theatre. I really like him. He's objective. He I probably like him because he's left wing, and he admits it. A lot of people have politics, and it sort of seeps into all their videos and their ideas and their interpretation of articles and TV shows and production and stuff, but they don't admit it, especially the right wing people, because they know people will switch off if they know what they actually think, and everything goes through that sort of filter. And his is a left wing filter, so I kind of like him more. But mostly because he tries to be objective, and he's looking at this situation pretty fairly. And I agree with pretty much everything he said, that the media is just latching onto it for their own, because it's a commodity. And what did he say? He put it so much better, and I've lost. Yeah. Oh, outrage is a commodity, and that is what the media is doing. They are harnessing the outrage of the public that there could be some sort of idolization of this criminal, this violent person, and I really don't think the film is doing that. And I'm sure there's a few crazy people out there who could interpret the film that way, because obviously they know what their film is about, and it's been screened for a few people, but there is the possibility of people misinterpreting the film. But that's on them. That's their mental illness. That's their craziness, their issues. It's not the filmmaker's responsibility. It's not the other audience members. It's not the public. It's not. It's the mental health care. It's their responsibility, because they're not helping people who have problems. They're not diagnosing people. They're not letting the public know how to read and help people who do have mental illness. So that's really the problem here. It's not someone's going to watch this film and it's going to make them into a killer. Just like no one's going to play a video game that's going to make them into a killer. I do think on some level there's some desensitization, and the people who are already having issues in that area, it is going to make the slide a little bit easier, or at least give them some direction. But those people were sick in the first place, and they were always going to go in the direction that they went. How or where or what form it takes is going to be influenced by the people and things around them, yes, but they're not responsible for that. I mean, the things are not responsible for them, for the people actually having mental issues and having the impulse to take it out on society and other people. It's not the filmmaker's responsibility or fault. It's not art's fault. Art doesn't cause crazy people. Art doesn't make people do anything. Just like guns don't make people do anything. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Now, yes, if you have less guns, it's a lot harder to kill people, but those people are still going to strike out at people because they've got a problem. And everyone wants to blame something other than the NRA or the guns, and they just want to say, oh, it's the media, oh, it's the movies, oh, it's the PC. If we can just take the games away from the people, suddenly there won't be any problems. It's just a load of bullshit. And I don't know, this video is supposed to be about the army putting out a warning, and they did. The Texas law enforcement and the LAPD, they basically put messages out to service members of the army, basically telling them how to deal with a situation if there is a situation, and saying that there may be a situation, that there may be people who, on the dark web, there has been chatter of people talking about shooting up a cinema for this. And like I said, I think the media has actually inspired that. I think the media has actually now created this need to want to fulfill this big publicized threat. So I think they've actually caused it, and if someone does go out and do it, it's the media's fault. Because I think I've just contradicted myself. But I think in this example, the media has created the goal. And yes, there's crazy people out there, and only crazy people would chase after that goal, but they've kind of put it out there. They're kind of dangling it. be our news at 5. But yeah, so I find it really the Joker derangement syndrome, as Matt Javo coined it, has gotten to the point now where officials, government and police officials, and they found no legitimate the premiere. They haven't upped the security at the premiere because there is no actual verified threat or anything. There's no legitimate threats or things. It's just chatter, rumor, gossip, fear, anxiety, blown up press. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I just find it really bizarre that the Joker derangement syndrome has gotten to the point that officials are now getting sucked into it and feeling a need to put warnings out and warn people. Like I saw this on ABC. But yeah, I just think it's crazy. It's gone too far. And they just want press, they want attention. And the press has to take some responsibility, because when creating a situation like this for their clicks and attention and views and everything, they are affecting the story they're creating. It's like it's just really scary, and it's just too much and too crazy, and it didn't need to be like this. The film could have just premiered, been reviewed and enjoyed, but now it's been turned into this monster, and we're going to see how that goes. But I'm going to leave it there. I've talked too long, and I talked about everything when I really was only wanting to talk about just the press releases and the emails that went out to servicemen and officials about potential threats. Okay, if you have any thoughts, feel free to share it, and have a nice day. Bye.